Hello, my most amazing artists. How are you today? Today I'm talking with my 4G students, and we are going to look at an artist who is really famous. I want to see if you know who I'm talking about. This is one of his creations that's very famous. I also want you to know that this style of his is very different from this style. This is an artist who changed his style many times throughout his career. In fact, he was an artist for 78 years. And during that time, he created more artwork than any other artist has created in their lifetime. This artist also has a name that we recognize with only one word, but his real name consisted of 23 words. What? Also, this is an artist who, when he was born, they thought he was born dead and they left him to die, but then his uncle came in and revived him so that he could live. What? Let's see, one more fact. His first word was peace, for short for lapis, which, as you know, is Spanish for the word pencil. All right, this artist is none other than Pablo Picasso, and we are going to take a look at some of his artwork today. Now, this week, you don't have an art project, you have a biography worksheet. So the sheet that you're looking at is a few pages long. It starts with a worksheet that looks like this. I want you to read the information about Pablo Picasso and answer the questions in your worksheets. Then, next week, your art project will be a Picasso-inspired portrait. All right, so let's take a look at some of Picasso's amazing works of art. The first painting we're going to look at by Pablo Picasso is this one called Three Musicians. I want to point out a few things that you might need to notice and you might need to comment on your worksheet. First of all, you'll notice that these figures are painted in a very different style. Picasso wasn't trying to make them look realistic. He was trying to stylize them. He wanted to paint in a specific style, and that style is known as Cubism. Cubism is the kind of style he used in a lot of his earlier paintings, where everything in the painting had a lot of tiny cubes making it up. This one, the cubes are a little bit bigger, and you can see some of the detail inside of the cubes as well. So let's check out these three musicians. So you'll first of all notice this one right here. What instrument do you think he's playing? It's straight down and you have to blow through it with your mouth. That would be a clarinet. The next one I want you to notice is this one in the middle. I love the pattern on his crazy outfit. That one, you can see the instrument right here, and he's pressing some strings with his hand. Here's his other hand. So this would be a guitar. The next one right here, I'll have you notice that this musician isn't holding an instrument. He's holding a sheet of music. And so he is the singer of the group. All right, now let's take a look at something in the background. Let's see if you can find one more character, if you will, hiding in the background. It's a little hard to see because it's really dark. Check this out back here. It looks kind of like a shadow, and you can tell there's something under the table. It's got some fur and a tail and some claws. There's the front legs, and here's the shadow with the pointy ears. So what kind of figure is in the background? Yep, you guessed it. It's a dog. The next part I want to talk about is a time in Picasso's life where he was very sad. It was right at the turn of the century, starting in about 1901. For a few years, Picasso started painting in just one monochromatic style. Monochromatic means one color, and the color he focused on during this time was blue. This painting is called The Old Guitarist, and you'll notice that he's moved away from the Cubist style, and now he's painting with very elongated lines, and the color palette, of course, is mostly blue. It gives you a feeling of very deep sadness. And the other thing I want you to notice, though, is that the lines that you see in this particular painting also make it feel extra sad. The lines feel long and stretched out and tired. I don't know if you've ever drawn a tired line, but these lines look tired. After Picasso got out of his blue period, he went into a new kind of style, which they call the Rose period. And during that time, his paintings were mostly of a red color. And so a lot of things that he painted during that time were actually figures from the circus. He was very interested in painting those figures at that time. So this one right here, you'll see there's a taller circus performer and a shorter one, and the focal point color is red. You'll notice a similar kind of painting in your packet where there is another circus performer in that one. The last Picasso painting I want to highlight today is this painting right here. It is called Portrait of Dora Maar, and you'll notice that Pablo Picasso had a very unique style of portraiture. Now, this man painted thousands of paintings. In fact, the number isn't even agreed upon. It's anywhere between 20,000 and 100,000 if you count the different printmaking techniques he used as well. But you can imagine that if he painted tens of thousands of paintings, there were quite a few of them that were portraits of people. But you'll notice that it wasn't his intention to make these portraits look realistic. I mean, this is a real lady. Her name was Dora Maar, and she came in and sat for a portrait to be painted. And this is what he created. Now you'll see that he was really focused on creating something with a unique style. So let's check out that style. This is a great example of some of the cool things he did with the facial features. All right, I want you to focus in on the eyes in this portrait. I want you to notice especially that one eye is looking sideways. You can tell that because the eyelashes are off to the side. And this eye is looking straight ahead. Now, it's called a profile when you're talking about the view of a face that's from the side. And you'll notice that Picasso would mix the two ways of looking at a face together. So you would have some features that were a profile feature and some that were looking straight on. Like, check out the nose. This nose is, of course, going off the side here, so that would be what we call a profile, but it's actually going the opposite direction as what the eye is looking. So it's like he mixed the left and the right profile together. The other thing you'll see here is the lips look like they are profile lips on the right side, but then it looks kind of like they're straight on from this angle here. So the way that he mixed those two perspectives together was uniquely his design. And he did that on many of his portraits. All right, let's check out some of the rest of this painting. Can you see some lines or shapes that kind of remind you of other things? Let's check some of that out. I love how he used the background lines here to show perspective. You can see it looks like these are walls and a ceiling in the back wall. You'll notice here in the front of her dress, this part here, the bodice, it looks kind of like flowers almost. These look like blue flowers to me. And you'll notice also that this pattern on the bottom here where her skirt is that looks kind of like a plaid pattern down there. All right, so One more thing I want to show you real quick, and this will help you next week when you create your own Picasso profile. I want you to notice that the different colors he used in the face here are very cool because they're not blended together. I think one of the other cool things about his style is that he left a lot of these colorful shapes very crisp. So you'll see like this triangle highlight right here of white. And you'll notice here in the cheek that he's got this large circle of red, pink, and yellow. You'll notice here on the side of her nose that instead of using like a muted gray or a blended shadow, he's got this bright blue shadow for the nose. And I love how he's got these complementary colors in the eye. He's got green here and this bright red circle in the middle there. So using all sorts of bold colors in his face portraits, I think was a very interesting part of his style. So if you are feeling kind of sad that you don't have an assignment to create this week, I want to encourage you to go on to the Parnassus website. It looks like this. And if you go down to where it says School Directory, click on that. It'll bring you to this page where you scroll way down and you're going to find the 4G website. Click on that. It's going to have you enter a password. The password is Pegasus with a capital P. So it's capital P-E-G-A-S-U-S. And when you enter that, it will take you to the regular 4G website. And at the top of that, you see all your different subjects here. Find the one that says Art. Click on that. And then you can scroll down to the first section where it says Art Enrichment Projects. And you'll see 3 or 4 different choices on there for something creative to do. And any one of these will help you feel like you get to create something. So feel free to check those out if you are wishing you had something to create. All right, I'm looking forward to next week's Picasso project. Fill out those answers on your worksheets, and I'll see you next time.